Greetings, everyone. My name is Jim Weil, and I'm one of the co-owners here at Entourage Expeditions and Lake Country Travel, located in downtown Heartland, Wisconsin at 119 East Capitol Drive. On behalf of our partners at the Heartland Chamber of Commerce, we want to welcome you today for this information session on our group trip to Antarctica on February 5th to the 17th in 2023. A little bit about us. We've been in business for over 10 years. We've recently moved from downtown Pewaukee into downtown Heartland. And we've been doing this group trips with the Heartland Chamber of Commerce for 7 years now. Recently, we traveled to Vietnam. Before that, the Danube on a river cruise, Iceland, Ireland, as well as upcoming trips to Alaska and the Rhine River and Africa. So there's always something fun going on with us here at Entourage Expeditions and Heartland Chamber of Commerce. So a little bit about the company, the tour operator that we chose for this adventure to Antarctica. It is through Polar Adventures. They are a US-based tour operator located in Vermont. And we decided to go with them out of a very good wide variety of different tour operators that go travel to Antarctica. The top three reasons we chose them is because of their passion. First of all, they are 100% focused on Antarctica, and you can see that with the many trips that they do annually to this great continent. The next thing that made us decide this trip, this tour operator, is their people. We could see the passion. They have so much passion for this land and the education that they provide, not only us as explorers, but to their own crew and staff. So it's a great experience all around. And lastly is experience. They really do go out of the way to make sure that you and I have the best experience possible. And especially going to Antarctica, I think that's really what you need to have, is the best experience out there. A little bit about the ship that we'll be sailing on to Antarctica on this journey is the MSC Venture. It's a newly commissioned ship with a Class 1A rating, super ice class rating. What that means is this is the highest for a passenger ship in this type of environment to set sail, that it allows this ship to get closer to a lot of things through different channels and coves. So you even get a more personal experience while you're on board. Don't worry, you'll have time to be exploring closer and even on the land itself. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. So next I want to kind of show you a little clip here. Talks about the adventure that we're going to be sailing on here in Antarctica. It's about a 4-minute video, so I want you to sit back and enjoy.
Good morning. Beautiful conditions out there this morning. Breakfast to be served in half an hour.
My favorite time on board really is the morning. It's exciting. There's activity going on up on the bridge. There's this whole buzz going on about creating the adventure for the day. And I have an enormous sense of pride and happiness in sort of watching how all the pieces fit together. It's a fantastic time of day.
We leave the ship by Zodiac. Many times passengers will have an option to either go ashore and enjoy the activities ashore, or we go kayaking, or sometimes we do a little bit of both. We've always got support with us, so we can end and come back to the ship anytime. We go out with very loose plans because what we see and how we feel and how the group feels often dictates what we're doing on the board. Hello and welcome, folks, to Antarctica. You made it.
folks, lay of the land here. Plenty of Gen 2 penguins back there. Obviously, the crab-eater seals of the ice floes there. There's a whale swimming around just behind that. So lots of stuff happening.
We'll do a lecture and we'll talk about penguin feeding. And then when you get into the field, it's really nice because the passengers will spot it themselves, or they'll come to you afterwards and they'll say, "Oh, it was really great. I got to see hand over of an egg to from one parent to the other, or I got to see a chick chase later on in the season with the penguins. They have this great behaviour where they chase after each other to get food. It's always really fun. People they engage and they've seen what you talked about for themselves."
The shapes of the glaciers, the shapes of the mountains reflected in the water. It's a very graphic place. And I think part of that is because there's no trees or greenery or anything that distracts you from the absolute shape of the landscape.
Except for the penguins.
Yeah.
They are the funniest little animals that I have seen. They waddle, 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 flop, and they do face plants. You can sit there for hours and watch, and they just make you laugh.
Once the first landing is accomplished, they all get on board and the energy is so different. Suddenly there's lots of conversations, there's laughter, there's a longer lineup at the bar, they're wanting to celebrate. And it's literally having experienced an incredibly intense being at one with nature in Antarctica.
I can tell you this video never gets old every time I watch it. So that kind of gives you a little perspective of what we're definitely going to see and do on this journey. On the map on the screen, as you can see, this is the journey. The arrows are pointing in the wrong direction. I apologize for that. We will make the southwestern passage via, I should say, the South Shetland Islands, heading down to Antarctica, the peninsula, and then make our way back northbound. We will start in the city of Ushuaia in the southern tip of Argentina. So some of the highlights here, I think the video kind of shows you a lot of the highlights that we will witness, a lot of the stunning landscapes and the beautiful Antarctica itself. Plenty of wildlife encounters along the way, as you saw the many penguins, whales, seals, and seabirds that we definitely will be able to experience. The time of year that we are going to, and I'm just going to talk briefly about that, it is at the end of summer and beginning of fall. During that time period down in Antarctica, it's very active. It is whale season's at its peak at that time, as well as a lot of the penguins hatch newborns in the summer months, and then you see that they will start molting their fluffy little feathers and then getting to the nice smooth skin that they have. It's very active. A lot of seal pups are born in the summertime, so again, we'll see a lot of activities with them as well. So I kind of wanted to touch base about that. So when we see the wildlife encounters, honestly, February is a great time, one of the best times to visit Antarctica. The Zodiacs, you did see a little bit about that in the video. Zodiac can handle 10 passengers at a time, so we're keeping it in small groups. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but the MSC Venture can accommodate 139 passengers. There is kayaking available at an additional cost, and I'll talk about that later. Some of the potential stops along the way, scientific bases, and obviously historical sites. One of the inclusions that we have in our current pricing, this is now limited, so we will have to, if you want to make a reservation on this, It's now first come, first served basis. But camping, and I'll talk about that in a little bit too, but one of the unique things that Polar Latitudes does is be able to camp one night on the Antarctic land. Onboard science program, I'll talk a little bit about that. It's a great program, citizen science, later on when I discuss more about the amenities. There's photography coaches on board. As you can see, there's plenty of things to take pictures of, and having a professional on board is quite a great experience that they've added. Complimentary alcoholic, non-alcoholic beverages while you're on board. World-class cuisine. So again, what makes Polar Latitudes and the MSC venture different than many of the rest, it's not the cafeteria style food where you stand in lines to get your meals. It's actually world-class cuisine, so it's actually pretty quite nice. Onboard physician, so obviously we do have the medical care on board. Internet access, I'm sure it's going to be quite limited, but you do have access to that, as well as a complimentary expedition jacket, which you can see on the screen here in red. So the first couple days on the program, this is included in your price, is 2 nights prior to the sailing and venture down to Antarctica, and that's staying in Ushuaia, which is the southern tip of South America, as you can see on the map. It's where the Andes Mountains and the Beagle Channel meet, so it's actually quite diverse scenery in that area. It's considered one of the cities, it is considered the city at the end of the world. You can't go any further south than Ushuaia. And again, it's known for its spectacular marine life and wildlife as well. So we do have 2 nights stay in the Aracor Resort, which is actually up in the hill just above the city of Ushuaia, where we'll be spending 2 nights there prior to sailing. Day 3, this is day 3 of our embarkation day. We'll be welcomed on board the ship, the MSC Venture. Onboard amenities that are included. Library is one of them. There is a swimming pool, saltwater swimming pool. They do have nightly entertainment on board, a fitness center, as well as popular viewing spots. You have access to pretty much everywhere on the ship, including the bridge, which is actually pretty cool. We will set sail. 2 days it takes us to set sail through what is called the Drake Passage. Crossing the Drake Passage could be a very eventful or uneventful experience, depending on how you look at it. A lot of people will call it either the Drake Shake or the Drake Lake. The middle picture you can see in there would be considered the Drake Lake, where it's smooth. The Drake Shake, I should say, would kind of be in your right side picture there, where it can get a little rocky. This is again where the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean meet in the Southern Ocean, so it can be rough. However, there is trained staff on board, make sure that we have the most safest adventure out there. Once we cross the Drake Passage, days 6 and 7 are in the South Shetland Islands. This is home to 16 different research stations in Antarctica, and it's actually home to Penguin Island. A little history for you. It is a former British colony, and I had to check the screen. It is a population just less than 500 people. The islands, definitely breathtaking scenery. You're going to see this along the way, different scenery. Each island is unique and obviously picturesque. So we have some pictures here to kind of show you, to demonstrate some of the South Shetland Islands. Again, the whales, they'll be prevalent in that area. Beautiful views. And here's the kayaking that I mentioned briefly before. Kayaking is not included, I'm sorry, in the package price here. It is an additional $895. Anytime we go on an excursion, it is on a Zodiac. However, if you want to take the kayak way of travel, is, like I said, the additional $895. And then you have that experience instead of the Zodiac. So if you are interested in that, we do have more information and can talk about that with you on a individual basis. Excursions, want to kind of talk about that. They have excursions multiple times daily. They try to do one in the morning, one in the afternoon. Sometimes things happen might even get more than just the 2. If there's things out there, we might stay out a little bit longer, which might prevent us from doing another one, just because there could be an iceberg or a unique experience that they have there. Obviously, with the animal habitats, it's ever evolving. Icebergs, you can get up close and personal with them on this great adventure of Antarctica as well. And then camping, once in a lifetime experience, guaranteed. All your packing or camping gear is provided through Polar Latitudes. And we do have that option right now currently to camp on the land. Not everyone will be able to do this, so they won't have 139 passengers on board. They do limit this to 50. And our allotment right now is dwindling, so we won't have this option coming up in the future. So again, it's one of those things to book in advance to do so. But these couple days, days 8, 9, and 10 will be spent on the Antarctica Peninsula. And again, we'll be changing course, different directions, seeing where different things and the elements will take us on this journey. Couple little pictures again, see how close we are to the whales in the area. Fantastic penguins swimming by. This time of year too, summer into fall, 18 hours to 20 hours of sunlight daily. So we'll have a lot of sun. I don't think the sun actually really sets too much. A little fun here, as you can see, sliding down the hills. A little seal hanging out, basking in the sun. Again, I don't think you're going to get this view anywhere in the world. This is probably one of the most, if not the best, adventure you can probably take out there in this world. And here's a little bit of the camping that we have for this. Again, you have to book early. It's not guaranteed coming very soon, so make sure that you book in advance so we can guarantee a spot on these shores so we can camp out. And here's a little video that I want to share kind of about the whale watching aspect. So if you just bear with me for one moment. Simply amazing. Words can't even describe. So I hope you enjoy that, and I hope we get that close and personal with whales while we're there. So towards the end of the journey, we do have to go back, unfortunately. So we'll make our way back up to Ushuaia and then cross the Drake Passage. Again, this is the 2-day journey that'll take us there. There is some onboard activities. Again, like I said, the citizen science research. So you'll be able to sign up for that on board and participate in world research in this area. So you're actually helping out, and you actually do see the results too in how they're transmitted and what becomes of it. So it's actually a cool experience. Day 13 is disembarkation day. So we are back in Ushuaia, back on, I guess, solid ground at this point in South America. So we'll be able to disembark, and then we'll have some options to discuss in a later date, possibly extending the trip in Argentina up in Buenos Aires and seeing how the flight patterns, since we don't have the flights yet, and what the flight patterns are if we're able to even fly out that day. So a little bit more about on board. So the MSC Adventure, like I had talked to you about, there's a lot of different things on board. You don't have to just stay in your room, your cabin. There's the library, nice comfortable seating area. There is the computer, the access there. So you have internet access. You also get an access with one device per person. So if you want to bring an iPad or iPhone or whatever to stay in close contact with home, you'll have that internet access. Amenities, a fitness center like I talked about, heated saltwater pool, and a sauna. And then the Citizen Science Laboratory, obviously it's a sterile environment. We'll go through a lot of that if you do sign up, what to pack and how to keep things sterile and how polar latitudes keeps everything running. Live music I mentioned earlier, scientific research, again, along the way. There's going to be animal encounters. Mentioned it briefly, but you do have access to the bridge where the captain and the crew are sailing and commandeering the ship. So you'll be able to have access to that. Onboard clinic, photo coach, dedicated passenger service members on board, all English speaking, world-class cuisine. So dining, like I said, is not run-of-the-mill cafeteria style. It is actually nice dining. Alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages are included, and as well as access to 24-hour coffee or tea service. Sorry about that. There's a couple different accommodations on board, so I'm just going to briefly kind of go over each one. All of these are on request right now, so if there's limited cabins, I guess I should say on board. So if you are interested in a particular cabin, reach out to us. We'll let you know if it's still available. One of the largest is the owner's suite, 331 square feet, and this has access to a private balcony as well. We'll have exterior views, obviously, a sitting area with chairs and sofa, a complimentary minibar, that's in all the rooms, flat screen TV, again, all the rooms, and then telephone, safe, temperature controls. Ladies don't have to worry about bringing their hairdryer because there'll be a hairdryer in every room, actually. And that's the owner's suite. There's only 2 on board. Those are extremely limited. The veranda, this also has access to a private balcony, 224 square feet in the room itself. Obviously, the exterior views and the same amenities, sitting area with chairs, sofa, and table, mini bar, etc., etc. And that is a veranda. Going down from a veranda, we have the window stateroom, a little bit smaller. This one does not have the outdoor seating, so you just have the window, 188 square feet. Again, exterior views. You do have a seating area as well in this room to accommodate you, as well as the other amenities that every room has. And finally is the portholes. This is our least expensive option. Again, limited cabins with this one as well. 188 square feet. You still get exterior views, but you have a smaller porthole, but also the same amenities as everybody else does. So if you wish to join our expedition to Antarctica, we do require a deposit to secure a stateroom. We'll be able to meet one-on-one or discuss over the phone the availability. So if you have a preference in a room number, we'll be able to assign that at that time. Deposit is $1,500 per person, and it is a non-refundable deposit. Unfortunately, unless the cruise got canceled through polar latitudes, these deposits are very strict, and we have to adhere to the rules of polar latitudes. The second payment is not going to be due until August 20th of 2021, and that'll be additional $1,500. At that time, we're going to have some post-tour options out there available for everybody, and as well as some additional excursion options in South America. April of 2022 is the next important date. That's when flights are going to be coming out. So we will look at flights, seeing if we can obviously get some group flights from the local area here, or if you're interested in learning more about flights, that'll be coming out in April of next year. And final payment is August of 2022. So we do have some time to pay this off. It is a nice pattern of a payment plan that we do have here for everybody. So if you want more information on that, we'll be able to assist. Weather, these are some frequently asked questions. So weather is one of the top questions out there. Average temperatures around 30 degrees during the day, low around 20. So kind of average, nice temperatures, what you'd expect actually in Antarctica. Currency is the Argentine peso, and we're in Ushuaia, as well as Visa and MasterCard. And like I mentioned before, this one says May of 2022, April, May 2022. Generally, flights will be coming out. So we'll let everybody know when that happens. If you are from the Lake Country area, we always welcome you. We will always let you know of any future meetings when we have everyone together. These are pre-departure group meetings, what we call our meet and greets, so you get to meet fellow explorers. as well as we go over a lot of different things, answer more of the questions, go through packing, et cetera, during these things. But we'll be able to videotape these as well if you are not from the area and share that with you. Deposits, like I said, $1,500 per person and are non-refundable. Deviations not permitted, unfortunately, during the cruise, especially that we are at the mercy of polar latitudes and the way that they will take us along Antarctica itself. Insurance, it is mandatory. So regardless, you will have to have proof of travel insurance to go on this expedition. And the company that we use is a Wisconsin-based company. We've used for quite a few years here. It's Travel Guard. For more information about that, please reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to share that with you. Attire, this is probably one of the other things that we're going to talk about in the future of different things, what to wear, obviously warm clothing and stuff like that. But we'll talk about that in future meetings. Budget, obviously the insurance on top of the cruise itself, souvenirs or trinkets, and any additional excursions or pre-post stays that you want to do for that. And right now, visas are not required to travel to Argentina or Antarctica. One of the acronyms here, we've been doing this for quite a few years, that we love to have put out there for everybody who wants to join us on our expedition. And that's our fundamentals here at Entourage Expeditions, and it's fun. F being flexible. Obviously, we need to have the fun principle here in Antarctica. Flexibles, itineraries might change, venues might close, weather might affect certain things. Obviously, they're going to do the best that they can to have the best experience possible for everybody out there. You understanding that things might go wrong. And if that's the case, and be nice. Be nice to yourself, be nice to fellow explorers, as well as myself, who will be on board this ship and throughout the whole duration. So again, flexible, understanding, and nice. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today and watching this brief video presentation on Antarctica, the expedition that'll take place in February of 2023. If you do have any other questions, you want to learn more information, please reach out to us. We are very happy to answer any questions. And if we don't know the answer, we definitely will get the answer for you. Our phone number is 262-293-4424, as well as our email address, info@entourageexpeditions.com. Again, thank you for watching, and we hope to see you on one of our future expeditions.